morning, everybody, and welcome to Storytime on this Tuesday morning. It's going to be a beautiful day today, and I'm so excited that you're here. This is actually our very last Storytime on Facebook because the library is fully open, and so you can come and do Storytime with Miss Kristen in person. I know, it's going to be so great. It's at the same time. It's going to be Tuesday mornings at 10 o'clock in the morning. And I'll be here. I'll have books. I'll have singing. I'll be in person, and you can come and do story time with me. And we'll have crafts afterwards. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, last time on Facebook, we're going to talk about imagination. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to sing a song about unicorns. Because unicorns aren't real, but they're really fun to talk about and sing about. So, I made a unicorn puppet. Isn't he cute? He's even got sparkles on his horn. So, here's my unicorn puppet, and here's my song. There's a unicorn on your head, on your head. There's a unicorn on your head, on your head. Get down from there, I said. There's a unicorn on your head. There's a unicorn on your head, on your head. There's a unicorn on your shoe, on your shoe. There's a unicorn on your shoe, on your shoe. What you gonna do? There's a unicorn on your shoe. There's a unicorn on your shoe, on your shoe. There's a unicorn on your ear, on your ear. There's a unicorn on your ear, on your ear. It's really hard to hear when there's a unicorn on your ear. There's a unicorn on your ear, on your ear. There's a unicorn on your nose, on your nose. There's a unicorn on your nose, on your nose. Oh, goodness knows, there's a unicorn on your nose. There's a unicorn on your nose, on your nose. There's a unicorn on your hand, on your hand. Of course there is. There's a unicorn on your hand, on your hand. Isn't it really grand? There's a unicorn on your hand. There's a unicorn on your hand, on your hand. Oh, he's a lot of fun. I like my little unicorn puppet. And to start us off, after I get my fingers out of my unicorn puppet, here's our first book, You Don't Want a Unicorn, by Amy Dykeman, illustrated by Liz Climo. I don't know. I think having a unicorn might be a lot of fun. I don't know why I would not want one. Let's find out. Wait! You were going to wish for a unicorn, weren't you? Wishing for a unicorn is a big mistake. Just step away and flip. Uh-oh. Things are about to get poof! Ugly. Trust me. How could they be ugly? Look how fun! Sure, having a unicorn seems fun at first. Alright, super fun. Fine. It's awesome, okay? But it's not worth it. What you don't know is unicorns shed and scratch, and no matter how hard you try, unicorns can't be house trained. You don't want that. Trust me. Don't even get me started on the jumping. He's poking holes in the ceiling. The chewing. Oh no. And the burping. Ah. Hey, not bad. You could probably pull this off if it wasn't for the biggest top secret nobody knows about it problem with having a unicorn. Look at Happy. Unicorns live in groups, and when a unicorn gets lonely, ding, 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 it calls a friend. Poof. No! Right when you're thinking it could be double super fun, poof, there's another. Poof, and another. Poof, and another. Great, you've unleashed the most destructive force in the universe. I don't know, they all look pretty cool to me. A unicorn party! Unicorns rule. Oh, they're having all kinds of fun. They're tearing up the joint. I told you. Why don't you trust me? Quick, grab your piggy bank. Run. You have to wish them away. Clip, 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 clip. Poof, 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 poof. Yeah, that one needs to go back too. It's for the best. Trust me. Clip. Poof. Aw, cheer up. You can get a goldfish or a nice rock. Uh-oh. Stop! You don't want one of those either! Trust. Flip. Poof! Oh no, now he's got a dragon! That's gotta be a lot of trouble. What a fun book though! It's so fun. Even though we can't have a unicorn, it's still fun to think about having a unicorn. Alright, my next song is about having an imaginary friend. I don't know if you've ever had an imaginary friend, but that's what our next book is about. So, I have a song about being friends. Will you be a friend of mine, friend of mine, friend of mine? Will you be a friend of mine and sing with me? Will you be a friend of mine, friend of mine, friend of mine? Will you be a friend of mine and read a book with me? Wow, you're doing both of those things. How awesome! All right, one more thing. What else could you do? Will you be a friend of mine, friend of mine, friend of mine? Will you be a friend of mine and play a game with me? That sounds fun. Let's see what happens with this story, The Adventures of Beagle, the Unimaginary Friend by Dan Santa. The Unimaginary Friend. He was born on an island far away where imaginary friends were created. That's friends that we make up in our head. They're just for us. They're kind of cool that way. Here, they lived and played, each eagerly waiting to be imagined by a real child. Every night he stood under the stars, hoping for his turn to be picked by a child and given a special name. He waited for many nights. But his turn never came. His mind filled with thoughts of all the amazing things that were keeping his friend from imagining him. So rather than waiting, he did the unimaginable. He sailed through unknown waters and faced many scary things. Look at that huge whale, holy cow. But thinking about his friend gave him courage to journey on. He's going to find his friend. Until he reached the real world. The real world was a strange place. No kids were eating cake. The grown-ups were. No one stopped to hear the music. Everybody needed a nap time. They all looked tired on the train there. Then he finally saw something familiar, so he followed. He had a great feeling about this place. He looked everywhere, but he could not find his friend. That looks like a great playground, though. He climbed to the top of a tree and looked out, wishing and hoping his friend would come. but no one came. He thought about how far he'd come and how long he'd waited, and he felt very sad. Then he heard a noise below. Hello! Could this be? Her face was friendly and familiar, and there was something about her that felt just right. Look, she had a picture of the tree and him and her. At first, they weren't sure what to do. Neither of them had made a friend before. But after a little while, they realized they were perfect together. She named him Beagle. And he said, I'm Beagle. Hi, Beagle. Beagle and Alice had many new adventures. They shared their snacks. They told funny jokes. The world began to feel a little less strange. She's drawing all kinds of pictures of him with her. And together, they did the unimaginable. Oh, how fun. He found his girl and she found her imaginary friend. What a cute book. All right, I have one more song. And we're going to talk about monsters next, which are just our imagination, not real. But I have a fun monster song. If you're a monster and you know it, wave your arms. If you're a monster and you know it, wave your arms. If you're a monster and you know it, then your arms will surely show it. If you're a monster and you know it, wave your arms. If you're a monster and you know it, show your claws. If you're a monster and you know it, show your claws. If you're a monster and you know it, then your claws will surely show it. If you're a monster and you know it, show your claws. If you're a monster and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're a monster and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're a monster and you know it, then your stomp will surely show it. If you're a monster and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're a monster and you know it, growl out loud. Roar! If you're a monster and you know it, growl out loud. Roar! If you're a monster and you know it, then your growl will surely show it. If you're a monster and you know it, growl out loud. Roar! I hope you did that one with me. That one was super fun. All right. The Scariest Monster in the World by Lee Weatherly and Algie Craycall. Hopefully I didn't botch the name. Once there was a very scary monster. His fur was wild and weird. He carried a giant club with bristles on it, and his teeth were green and mossy because he never brushed them. He stomped through the forest and shouted, "Get out of my way!" Other animals ran when they saw him coming. "I'm the scariest monster in the world," said the monster proudly. But then one day, who made that noise? It came again. And again. Oh no, it was him! "Go away!" shouted the monster. Everyone always did what he said when he shouted, but the hiccups didn't seem to know that. "What am I going to do?" moaned the monster. He tried burying his head under his pillow, which was crusty and smelly because he never washed it. He tried running in circles. He even tried swinging upside down like the bats. Finally, the monster sat down and began to cry. The animals crept out of their hiding places. "Why is he crying?" they whispered. Groaned the monster. I've got the hiccups, but they won't go away. Who's ever had that happen to them before? But hiccups are easy to cure, said the clever old crow. Really? Tell me how, begged the monster. Just stand on your head and drink a glass of water, said the crow. But it's hard to drink when you're upside down. Ah! Splattered the monster. I'm drowning! That didn't work at all, said the monster sadly. Try holding your breath, said the crow. Hold it for as long as you can. The monster took a deep breath. He said, flailing his arms. Don't give up, squeaked the mice. The monster felt dizzy. He staggered in circles. Thump. He's not hiccuping anymore, whispered one of the mice. The monster sat up and blinked. They're gone, he cried. The hiccups are... Ah! There's only one thing left, said the crow. We'll have to scare them out of you. The animals tried everything they could think of to scare the monster. Fox made loud noises behind his back. The mice made horrible faces and jumped out at him. The owl told him creepy ghost stories. Animals thought and thought. What could be scary enough to frighten the scariest monster in the world? I've got it, shouted the crow. Close your eyes. It was very dark with his eyes closed. The monster waited and hiccuped and waited. This is silly, he thought impatiently. They can't scare me. Look, said the crow. The monster opened his eyes and... Ah! He screamed. Standing before him was a terrible monster. It had wild, weird fur and a giant club with bristles and green, mossy teeth. Ah! Take it away, shrieked the monster. It's you, laughed the crow. You frightened the hiccups right out of yourself. It was true, the hiccups were really gone. Hooray, sang the monster. The animal started to slip away. Where are you going? Called the monster. You're back to normal now, said the crow. And that means you're going to be scaring us all again. The monster thought about how the animals had helped him. Don't go, he pleaded. I don't want to be the scariest monster in the world anymore. So he asked the rabbits to help groom his fur. And he gave away his giant club with the bristles on it.